The New York Rangers had a regular season to remember. They won the President's Trophy, but they fell short in the Eastern Conference Final to the Panthers. They had a 2-1 series lead, but of course fell in 6 games. And you see there, and each time they've been eliminated and their season has come to an end these last 3 years, they've had a series lead, including 2-0 series lead first round against the Devils a season ago, and then in the Eastern Conference Final back in 2022 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And you see the goal scoring significantly drops, and that's a big part of the reason why, again, they are eliminated from the 2024 playoffs this season. So maybe we'll start there. Obviously, you want to see your stars come up big. That's the time to really make a name for yourself. And as this series progressed, Coach, we saw the Stars quiet down, particular Artemi Panarin. He gets the goal last night, but before that, I think it was 8 straight games without one.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you lose. The Stars don't score. I mean, and that's one of the reasons you lose. I bet you could go back, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but in the last 3 series that they have lost, whether they started out 2-0 or 2-1, then in those next potentially 4 or 5 games, they haven't been doing. They've been shut down,
right.
And I mean, it's so much harder to score in the playoffs. As you know, you go by round. The first round, you see a couple 6-5 scores, 6-4 go. Now you start looking at them. It's 3-1, 2-1. The games are so low scoring and so tight checking that, I mean, sometimes the Stars like to freewheel. They don't like to get hit. But I'm telling you, every coach is sitting in there. Every time Panarin touches the puck, you hit him. Every time this guy touches the puck, you hit him. And then there's just no room for them to skate. It's a lot tougher at this time of year.
This will be an important lesson in the maturation of the nucleus of the New York Rangers. I mean, every team goes through this. Teams are like people. Teams are like players. There's an evolution. There's a maturity. There's a learning and applying what you've learned to a coming season. And I think for this group, especially the guys you're talking about, Bruce, you've got to find a way to play your game at a time when the space to operate and create offensive plays is at a premium. I mean, no better way to learn that lesson than the Florida Panthers, of the way they're playing right now. Space is at a premium. Space is hard to come by, and that team was an absolute buzzsaw. And you saw a very frustrated Artemi Panarin, a very, a very diminished version of Mika Zibanejad. He had his moments early in the series, but as the series progressed, and this Florida team kind of even ratcheted up the intensity, you could see it was very difficult to come by. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot to love about what you learned, what you saw in these New York Rangers. Start at the goaltending position for beginners, but to me, I don't know that Chris Drury's in a place where he needs to monkey with too much. This is a really robust group, a group that you want to see mature over time. So how things play out on where the players on this board are concerned really will, I think, tell us a lot about the future of the complexion of this club.
Yeah, let's talk about just the decisions that need to be made in order for them to, again, continue to take that leap. And obviously, they've got a lot to think about going into the offseason. But where do you start with the decisions? Obviously, you look at your netminder, Igor Shesterkin, right there in the mix. But what other pieces do you think to tinker with as you look there? Kaapo Kakko, one of their top picks over the last few years. He is a restricted free agent come this year, Coach.
I don't want to be rude and as a coach like in the league and that, but I don't think they'll sign any of the unrestricted guys that they can walk. I mean, as far as the restricted guys, the 2 guys they want is Lindgren and Schneider. Those are 2 big deals for them. I mean, Kakko is the one they got to make the decision on, and then come July 1, they'll have to make the big decision on Shesterkin, because I don't think in the New York media you want to go through a whole year with him being unsigned. So I mean, you want to get him. I mean, he's the next Henrik Lundqvist as far as the Rangers are concerned, and so you want to get him signed to as quickly as you can possible. So I think their decisions, aren't that tough, really.
Yeah. Well, you've got control over. I agree with you. I think pinning down Schneider,
Lindgren.
Lindgren.
No, I'm blanking.
Yeah.
Lindgren, those are two key pieces for the future. And I think you saw these guys mature a good bit. Lindgren, a brilliant young defender, and I think it will be a mainstay with this group. Kakko is an interesting, question. Restricted free agent. You probably want to control the asset by signing him, but that might be a commodity that goes to another place. You kind of feel like they're, the fit, the development, it's not gelling for Kakko here. And, a change of scenery might be the best place for him.
Yeah, it's certainly be interesting to see what they do and how these team players come back stronger. And I think a player that we've talked a lot about this postseason, Alexis Lafreniere, I think a lot of brightness as we look ahead to next year and the Rangers go into the offseason.